The food, once fresh and inviting, began to spoil and rot in Kivuli's paws. But his greed prevented him from noticing. Suddenly, the ground beneath them started to tremble. The carvings on the stone walls came to life, and the animals depicted in the stone were snarling and growling. Ekonke nke komabasi. Story, story, story. Hello there. Welcome to Tales by Irene Olaita. The title of today's story is The Greedy Lion and the Forbidden Feast. Now let's get onto it. Once upon a time, in the heart of the African savannah, where the sun painted the skies with vibrant hues at dawn and dusk, there lived a mighty lion named Kivuli. Kivuli was the king of the savannah, feared and respected by all animals. However, Kivuli had a flaw that overshadowed his greatness: his insatiable greed. He demanded the largest share of every hunt and even hoarded food, leaving little for others. One day, as Kivuli lay lazily under the shade of a baobab tree, he overheard a group of monkeys chattering excitedly about a forbidden feast hidden deep in the jungle. It was said that the feast was guarded by ancient magic and could provide endless food to anyone who found it. The very thought of an endless supply of food made Kivuli's mouth water, and he decided he would claim this feast for himself. Kivuli summoned his royal advisor, a wise old tortoise named Nzi, and demanded that he guide him to the hidden forest. Nzi, knowing the dangers of the forbidden feast, tried to dissuade Kivuli. "Great king, the legends speak of a terrible curse that befalls those who seek the forbidden feast out of greed. Please reconsider this decision of yours." But Kivuli's greed blinded him to Nzi's warnings. He ordered the tortoise to prepare for the journey at once. Reluctantly, Nzi complied, gathering supplies for a long journey ahead. The next morning, they set off with Kivuli leading the way and Nzi plodding along behind him. The journey was fraught with challenges. They crossed vast plains, sweltering deserts, and dense forests. Along the way, they encountered various animals who offered cryptic warnings and advice. An old elephant told them, "The path to the feast is not just a journey of distance, but a test of the heart." A sly fox added, "Only the worthy can partake in the feast without facing dire consequences." Kivuli, impatient and dismissive, brushed off these warnings. He was a lion, the king of the savannah, and he believed he was above any curse or test. His mind was filled with visions of the endless food that awaited him. After many days of travel, they finally reached the edge of the jungle where the forbidden feast was said to be hidden. The jungle was dark and foreboding, with thick vines and ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets. As they ventured deeper, the air grew thick with a strange, intoxicating scent that made Kivuli's stomach rumble with anticipation. They soon arrived at a massive stone door covered in intricate carvings of animals and mysterious symbols. Nzi, recalling the legends, said, This is the entrance to the forbidden feast. We must be cautious, Kivuli. Ignoring the tortoise, Kivuli pushed the door open with all its might. It creaked and groaned before finally giving way to reveal a magnificent banquet hall inside a cavern. The sight took Kivuli's breath away. Tables laden with every type of food imaginable. Fruits, meats, and delicacies of all kinds glistened under the soft glow of luminescent crystal embedded in the cavern walls. Kivuli's eyes widened with greed. Without a second thought, he launched at the nearest table, tearing the food with abandon. Nzi watched in silent dismay, knowing that this was not just any feast. As Kivuli gushed himself, the cavern began to change. The once inviting atmosphere grew heavy and oppressive. The luminescent crystals dimmed, casting airy shadows that danced on the walls. The food, once fresh and inviting, began to spoil and rot in Kivuli's paws. But his greed prevented him from noticing. Suddenly, the ground beneath them started to tremble. The carvings on the stone walls came to life, and the animals depicted in the stone were snarling and growling. The whispers of the jungle grew louder, and the air filled with a sense of foreboding. Kivuli, now surrounded by rotten fruit, finally looked up, his eyes widening in fear. If you are still watching, if you are still here, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Nzi stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. Great King, your greed has awakened the curse of the forbidden feast. You must stop now or face the consequences. Kivuli panicked. He tried to flee, but the cavern entrance had vanished, replaced by a solid wall of stone. The ground split open and ghostly apparitions of the past seekers of the feast emerged, their hollow eyes filled with sorrow and warning. Desperate, Kivuli turned to Nzi. Help me, Nzi. What must I do to escape this curse? Nzi, knowing that this was Kivuli's moment of reckoning, replied, You must prove that you can overcome your greed. Share what remains of the feast with those who need it more than you. Only then will the curse be lifted, my king. Kivuli, trembling, nodded. He began to gather the remaining food, which miraculously started to transform back to its fresh state as he touched it with genuine intent. He handed the food to Nzi, who placed it in a magical sack he had carried on the journey. The apparitions watched silently as Kivuli continued to gather and share the food. Gradually, the oppressive atmosphere lifted and the ground steadied. The stone walls stopped shifting and the carvings returned to their original state. The luminescent crystals brightened once more, bathing the cavern in a soft, reassuring glow. With the sack full of food, Nzi led Kivuli to a hidden door that appeared on the other side of the cavern. The sense of relief was palpable. Kivuli, humbled and exhausted, looked at Nzi with gratitude. Thank you, Nzi. I see now that my greed nearly destroyed me. I will never forget this lesson. Nzi nodded, a wise smile on his face. Remember, Kivuli, true strength comes not from what we take, but from what we give. Share your blessings and you will always have enough. Returning to the savannah, Kivuli kept his promise. He shared the magical food from the sack with all the animals, ensuring that no one went hungry. His reign became known not for fear and greed, but for generosity and wisdom. The story of Kivuli's transformation spread across the land, becoming a legend that taught the value of sharing and humility. Kivuli's newfound wisdom brought peace and harmony to the savannah. The animals, once wary and fearful, now looked up to their king with respect and admiration. The forbidden feast, once a symbol of greed and danger, became a reminder of the power of redemption and the importance of a generous heart. And so, the story of Kivuli, the greedy lion who learned to share, was told and retold by generations. It became a timeless tale, echoing through the savannah with each passing breeze, a testament to the transformative power of humility and enduring strength of a generous spirit. Now that is the end of today's story, but before you go, please like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel. Also, turn on the notification button so that you will not miss any of the episodes. That is all for today. Thank you so much.
It's Tales by Irene Ulaito. It's Tales by Irene Ulaito. It's from our culture, it's from our heritage, all the way from Africa. It's very educative, it's very inspiring, it's very insightful.